You think you're lazy, but that belief is exactly what's keeping you stuck. Because the truth is far more uncomfortable than that. What if your inconsistency is not a failure of discipline, but a pattern your brain has learned to repeat? Every time you try to change your life, the same thing happens. You start strong and then something pulls you back. Not suddenly, not randomly, but in a predictable cycle you lived through again and again. Motivation, action, resistance, collapse, and then silence until the next attempt begins. You blamed your willpower for this. You told yourself you just need to try harder. But if trying harder worked, you wouldn't be stuck in the same loop right now. So let's remove the illusion completely. You're not lazy. You are running a pattern your system has memorized. A pattern that feels automatic because it is. And the most dangerous part is this. Your brain is not trying to fix this pattern. It's trying to protect it. And over time, you trained it to expect inconsistency. Not success, not discipline, but cycles. You start something new. Your brain releases a burst of energy, excitement, motivation, and temporary sense of control. But very quickly, something shifts inside you. That energy begins to drop without any clear reason. This is not random. This is your nervous system returning to its baseline pattern. A pattern built from repetition, not intention. From what you've done consistently, not what you want to become. And here's where it becomes addictive. Your system starts craving the emotional cycle itself, the high of starting and the relief of quitting. Because quitting doesn't just feel like failure, it also feels like escape from pressure. So without realizing it, you get stuck in a loop where chaos feels more natural than consistency. Your brain is not just addicted to outcomes, it's addicted to emotional patterns. The stress before action, the tension during effort, and the release after quitting. This entire loop becomes familiar to your system, and what's familiar becomes comfortable. Even if that comfort is slowly destroying your progress, your system still chooses it over the unknown. But this is only the surface level. There's a deeper layer most people never look at. Your body is not just chemical, it's also energetic. And energy follows patterns just like your brain does. In ancient systems, this flow of energy is called prana, the force that drives both your body and your awareness. When this energy flows smoothly, action feels natural. Clarity, focus, and movement happen without resistance. But when this flow becomes unstable or blocked, your system begins to behave differently. You don't just lose motivation, you lose the ability to sustain it. When your internal energy becomes unstable, your actions begin to reflect that instability. You don't just think inconsistently, you operate inconsistently at every level. One day you feel unstoppable, the next day even small tasks feel overwhelming. This is not a motivation problem, it's a fluctuation in your internal state. And your brain is constantly trying to adapt to that instability by choosing the easiest path in each moment, which means avoiding effort when energy drops and chasing intensity when energy spikes. This creates a dangerous pattern. You became dependent on feeling ready to act. But consistency doesn't come from feeling ready. It comes from stability beneath your feelings. And right now, that stability is missing, which is why your actions keep collapsing. So you're not failing to stay consistent. Your system was never stable enough to support it. If the problem is instability, then the solution is not more motivation. The solution is learning how to stabilize your system before you try to control your actions, because action is always the surface layer. Your internal state is what drives it. And the fastest way to influence that state is something you're already doing every moment. Your breath is not just keeping you alive, it is regulating your entire nervous system in real time. Every inhale increases activation, and every exhale signals your body to release and stabilize. But when your breathing is unconscious, it simply follows your existing chaotic patterns. Fast, shallow breathing keeps your system unstable, and that instability feeds your inconsistency. Slow, controlled breathing does the opposite. It brings your system back into balance. This is where real change begins, not in your actions, but in your internal regulation. The first step is awareness, not of your thoughts, but of your internal state. Pause for a moment and observe your body. Notice the tension, the restlessness, or the heaviness. This is your baseline pattern, the state your system keeps returning to. The second step is controlled breathing. Slow down your inhale and extend your exhale. Do not force calmness immediately. Allow the system to adjust gradually. As you continue, something subtle begins to shift. The internal noise starts losing intensity. Your body stops reacting impulsively and starts settling into a more stable rhythm. The third step is consistency in state, not action. You are training your system, not chasing results. Stay in this regulated state before you begin any task. Let stability come first, action second. Because once your state becomes stable, your actions no longer feel forced. At this point, something fundamental begins to change. You are no longer reacting to your impulses automatically. The need to escape, delay, or quit starts losing its intensity. Not because you forced it, but because the system is stabilizing. This is the difference most people never understand. You don't build discipline first, you build stability. And from that stability, discipline emerges naturally, without constant effort or internal resistance. The chaos you once felt begins to disappear, and with it, the cycle that kept pulling you back. Situations that used to overwhelm you now feel manageable, even neutral. You don't need motivation anymore because your system is no longer working against you. This is what real consistency feels like. Not intense, not forced, but steady and quiet. And this is where the illusion finally breaks. You were never lazy to begin with. You were operating from an unstable internal state, repeating patterns your system had memorized over time. Once that instability is removed, your natural ability to act returns on its own. You stop fighting yourself every day and start moving in alignment with your own system. This is not about becoming someone new. It's about removing what was interfering with you. Your clarity, focus, and discipline were always there. They were just buried under layers of internal chaos. And now, with awareness and control, you begin to access them again. Every breath becomes a way to stabilize your system. Every moment becomes a chance to break the old loop. You are not lazy. You were just never taught how to take control of your internal state.